Hey, good evening, everybody. Let me get the music stopped and get everything under control here. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. And talk about Darlington this week and go over some of that stuff and some of the stuff we've done in the shop. Let me just double check our volume here. Okay, it should be good. All right. So last week, of course, last week's show, I told everybody we were going to Darlington, getting ready to do all that stuff, and I couldn't help myself. I had to go through the car and change the setup to a circle track, even though I knew we weren't going to be able to race or really go any high rate of speed. But the racer in me, the engineer, if you will, thought, man, I need to get this thing. I need to get it set up so it's ready to go on the oval. And I know Darlington's a pretty tough track. They call it too tough to tame. Lady in Black. A lot of cars have been wrecked at this place, and so I just kind of wanted to be prepared as best I could. So we went ahead and changed the front alignment, scaled the car, got the corner weights where they needed to be, put a bunch of lead in the left side of the car. That all went out good. Finished up some of the vinyl stickers and stuff I had to get added onto the car. And we loaded up, and we went to Darlington. So, the wife and I decided to go ahead and take an easy ride up. So, and it was the first time I've hauled my 26-foot trailer behind the truck with the camper in the back. Let me bring you guys up a picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. Where are we here? Please hold on for a second. I gotta pull this up. That's one. Oh, it's under. Sorry, I gotta figure out what folder I put everything in. Yeah, so there's the rig. Obviously, you guys follow Instagram or get notifications on YouTube. You've seen the video a couple weeks ago that we put a whole new front underneath the truck. Well needed. And hey, Ryan, how you doing? And so to make this camper, I don't have a picture of this, but to make this to haul a trailer behind a camper that has a long tail. Let me see if I got another. No, I don't have another angle. But I had to make a 24-inch extension for the hitch. So I made the extension. I got chains that go back to the corners of the hitch, so it keeps that extension from moving side to side. And then, of course, I put the receiver and I put torsion bars on there to help take some of the weight off of the hitch, because it's your tongue weight's now magnified by the ball being 24 inches farther away from the hitch that it was. And I kind of made my own super hitch, so it's got two 2-inch receivers, and then the truck has a second one underneath. So if you look at the back of my truck, I have two. Hey man, how you doing? Nice meeting you at the track this last weekend. So so it was a good tow, but we did decide to take our time getting up there, and so we got up to north of Jacksonville on Thursday, and then made the final trip on on Friday. Got up to the track around 4 o'clock, unloaded and did all that stuff, and went into pits and set up there. So here's a picture of us in the pits. You get a little slice of life there in the pits. So I had to unhook the trailer and get the truck out and whatnot. But it was a great time. We had a great drive. And so that was our week up until Friday. So before we get into Darlington, I want to just give you guys some shop updates. So I think I mentioned last episode, last Tuesday night, that Dave's Chevelle wasn't showing very good oil pressure. I thought I was going to have to pull the motor out. Well, during my drive, my brain's working, and I realized that engine block is a DOD, so it's a displacement on demand, and they have a solenoid rack that goes on top of the in the valley tray, and that's how they control the oil pressure to the different lifters. We are not running DOD, and we put a Holley plate on there. Let me get some pictures here. Where did I put those? Oh, they're under tech. So this is a little tech section. We'll have 2 tech sections tonight for LS engines. All right, so this is the oil passages for the lifters, and what the DOD does, it dumps the oil pressure. Normally there'd be a hole here. It dumps the solenoids, bypass the oil, the lifters collapse, and then you run on either 6 or 4 cylinders, and then when oil pressure goes back in, the lifters reactivate, and you're back on 8 cylinders. It was something to try to make fuel mileage, whatever, kind of a pain, but on a performance motor, you don't use them at all. So on Dave's motor, it came from the factory deleted, and it would have a plate on it like this that has O-rings to seal off those pieces, but the top of the plate is kind of nasty looking, and it's just a piece of cast aluminum, not very nice cast, because the LS3 and LS7 manifold completely covers the plate. You can't see it anyway. But on Dave's, we wanted something nice, so we put this Holley plate on there, and it actually color matched it in the fins and everything. And what I didn't think about when we put this on, because we were just getting the motor to go to paint, that was a year and a half ago, is that it does not seal off the DOD. So there's a plug that they make to do that. So that's what we have to do now with Dave's engine. So I'm happy to know that it's not anything in the bottom end, and the motor has had oil pressure even though it's very low. We've only had the engine idling, so I don't think there's been any engine damage at this point. But we're going to go ahead and pull it down and fix that, and then cut the oil filter apart, make sure we don't have any issues with that. So anyway, let's get back to Darlington, since that's probably our main thrust for tonight. Let me change screens here. Wow, I don't have the right screen up. Of course, we just got back late last night, so didn't get a lot of time to get everything organized, trying to get the shop open back up and get truck unloaded and stuff like that. So I don't have these in any particular order. Let me see if I can just find an order here. All right, we'll start off with this one. So Stock Car Classics is a car club, and they consider themselves a rolling museum. These are vintage and tribute cars of cars that ran in yesteryears, but rather than sitting in a garage or in a building, they like to run their cars on the track. and display them in shows. So I joined them last year. Didn't go to any events last year, but this year they were invited to Darlington for the Throwback weekend, which was the actual Cup weekend. A lot of the events that they do are on a private, private test deal, or they're sharing the track with another group. There's really not a lot of fans or such there. And they do some HSR stuff too with the stock car guys. But this was a big opportunity to be in front of the NASCAR Elite. And with the good showing here, the club's hope is that they can get invited to more events. So we did get a chance to get on the track after the Xfinity race. So we'll get to that. There's another. That's the real shot I was looking for. But we had, I believe, 22 cars. These cars over here are more of the early 60s and older. And then, of course, these are mostly Gen 4, Gen 5 cars. But a lot of nice race cars there. Another shot of some cars on the track. And, here's us taking some of the cars out to the track. Some more shots of, there's the main grandstands behind us. I mean, what a perfect place in the fan zone. Here's our group on the racetrack. Of course, I was at the back of the pack. Here we're getting ready to go out on the track while the Xfinity race was still going on. Hey, John, how you doing, man? All right, let's let me see if I can get this. Sorry about them not being organized very well. So here's the these are the older cars. This Buck Baker 87 car is an original race car from back in the day. It was in the museum at Darlington, from my understanding, for quite a long time. The same family still owned the car, from what I understood. But nice Superbird. I'll show you some of these other cars here in a second. So we'll get to that in a minute, John. One thing we didn't get to run at full speed, NASCAR had some reservations about that, and we'll excuse me. We'll get to that in a second here. So here's another aerial shot of the group. Unfortunately, I didn't take a lot of these pictures. I was able to get the people in the club to give me stuff that everybody, family and friends took, and kind of piecing it together. Some other cars, while we were waiting for the Xfinity race to go over, you can see in the background there's a car on the racetrack there. This is getting ready for some parade laps earlier on. Again, while we were waiting for the Xfinity race to get over, we were in the infield, all grouped up, ready to go out. There's some pictures on track. So, kind of answer your question, John. So, NASCAR was using this weekend to see how this club operates and if it could be done at one of their events and not disrupt the scheduling of their own events, but use this as something for the fans. So while we were doing laps, we were, first of all, paced by a pace truck, and we were asked to keep about 5 car lengths between each other. Some people did real well at that, some did not, but they just wanted to see how it all worked out, and maybe we are definitely asked to do June to come back and do their charity lap deal where they you pay money to the charity, and you can go out on the track with your car and make some paced laps with a pace vehicle behind you. But they are asking us to come back and do our own show during that deal. So anybody that goes to the charity thing would get to see this Stock Car Classics do their lapping show, which when they do that, how they do that is they take Craftsman truck time, whatever their lap time is, and then they deduct 20%, and then that is the fastest lap time that we can race at. So basically it's like bracket racing and with a breakout rule. If you go too fast, then you gotta slow down, go to the back and go again. But they do pass with a flag by, and they do get to run at a pretty good rate. We weren't able to do that here, although we were running at about 100 miles an hour. The guy with the pace truck was really putting that thing through the paces, and you could tell he's done it before to take a pickup truck and be able to go out and run about that kind of speed on the track. These pictures are kind of small, but I just kind of go through them. There's another group of us. And then, of course, this was the A group. These guys didn't run quite as fast as we did in the B group, but obviously a lot of older cars, they don't have the horsepower to run the speeds we were running. And here's some more of shots of our displays. We already seen that one. So, you're not seeing any of it because you got me on the camera. So yeah, there's the cars on track. There's an aerial of us with intermingling with fans. They come take pictures with the cars and getting them and stuff. We're sitting on the infield waiting to go out on the track. Another angle of some of the displays. And these guys were the Group A cars. These were the older cars. They paced at a lot slower speed than what the B group did. And just a couple more shots of the cars on track. So it was a really good time. I can do what I did, and of course I don't have them. I didn't have a chance to get them all organized, but I basically broke everybody down into a folder. So let's start off with I got a couple pictures while we were standing in the infield waiting to go on the track. We got a picture of the cars on track. So there's the Xfinity race going on. They were lining up pace car in front of them, getting ready to go on track. So let me switch screens. So most of this stuff I'm going to be using in a full video. Hey Chris, how you doing? So, but just kind of taking all the pictures and stuff and showing you guys. As always, you guys get to see sneak previews to videos that are coming out in the future. So here's one of the cars. This was a hang on a second. There we go. All right, so this was a Neil Bonnet Valvoline car. Really nice piece. This guy's owned this car for like 20 years. But one of the old Aero Coupes. Got a couple pictures crossing the start-finish line. Out pacing around the track. But really nice car. And the cool thing about, because this was a Cup weekend, a lot of people either, well, not a lot, but I would say there was a few people that would stop by and either worked on the team or whatever. For Mike's car, he actually, I can't remember the name, I think it was Raymock was the race team, and he actually met one of the owners of the team, so that was pretty cool. So here's a I believe this was a Bobby Allison. So this was a Bobby Allison car. Little newer generation race car. Oh, I started in the middle. Sorry about that. Well, it was a pretty nice, clean later model. I think it's still a Gen 4, but a later model. And here's a Darrell Waltrip Tide Chevrolet. And actually the Dayglow orange paint is still in great shape on this thing. There. But real nice car from 1988 Hendricks team. Looks like Darrell had a pretty comfy seat in there. Some action shots, crossing the start finish. A future racer getting a peek inside the car. This was a really cool car. I didn't get a lot of pictures of it, but this is a young man from Jacksonville has this car. So this is a Tim Richmond Monte Carlo, which was pretty cool. The club was giving him a hand this weekend trying to get it running right for him. But real nice ride. Another Aero Coupe. Tim Richmond was one of those racers that gone too soon. We never really got to see all the stuff that he could do. And this was a Harry Gant 33 Skulls. And a little sign up for it. And a lot of the cars carried VFW names on the windshield around the track as a memorial for the VFW. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's an on-track shot. There's another one. So that was another one. This was a newer generation car. I should have seen more, try to get more information on it, but Peanut Patch Reagan car. Fan sitting in the car in his Earnhardt outfit. Ryan says, looked like a great time. Love the Aero Coupes. Yeah, I do love the Aero Coupes too. Let's see. I don't want to go into the old cars quite yet. This Dave Marcus car was a tribute car. I think it was actually a Bush chassis that they hung his body on. Still a pretty cool ride. Little action shot there. Another one crossing the start finish. And he actually got to meet Dave Marcus. So that was pretty cool. Dave Marcus really enjoyed the tribute to one of his rides. That was one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to go up to this event. I knew there was going to be some cool stuff going on there. This car is a beautiful car. This car is the original car, but it has been restored. But it is a Robert Yates car, and it went to a couple of different road courses, and the owner of the car has been able to do wonderful things, getting to meet Todd Parrott. Todd Parrott actually gave him all the paint codes to repaint the car. So this car has been completely repainted. And then I believe CompCal in Mooresville did all the stickers and vinyl, which that's the same people I use for my car. Just a beautiful thing. And cool thing was Todd Parrott was over on Sunday waiting to talk to the owner. They're friends. And he was telling me that he gave the current car owner all of the setup sheets and tire sheets from all the 4 races and all the practices that they went to with this car. So he's got all of the data and specs and all that stuff of what they did with the car. I mean, it's very cool information. There's it crossing the start-finish line. You know, they're going around the track. And there's the man himself, Todd Parrott, hanging with the car owner and his buddy. Got to get pictures on the car and everything. So really really great. I enjoyed talking to Todd for a couple minutes about his car and the stuff he did to it. Let's see, we got this is a HS Dye Craftsman truck. This is Scott Davis's truck. He's one of the main people in the club. Him and his wife do a lot of work there. Shot at the start finish. Pacing with the Valvoline car. There's Scott. And let's see here. Hot Wheels car, Hot Wheels truck. Now this truck didn't actually go on track, but another Craftsman truck. Very cool ride. I believe this guy, his name is Scott also. He is a madman. So we had this Home Depot Tony Stewart car. And this guy loves to rev this engine up. Boy, let me tell you. But real nice car. There's start finish picture. In line, getting ready to work our way out to the racetrack. Let's see, we did the Hot Wheels, HSI, we did that one. Now I guess we'll do mine. So here's the pictures from my car. It was at the house before we left. There's at the show. You can see I got all new vinyl on the sponsored stickers there. CompCal just made those for me. People really enjoyed the originality of the car and how well the original paint on it was. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't switch over. Sorry. So I was saying here, these are the stickers that CompCal has recreated for me. And what I was saying was this car still has the original paint on it, and it's painted, not wrapped. So I did get quite a bit of comments about how good the paint is still on the car, and really enjoyed the originality that the car still has. A little in-car screen. A little shout out to the guys at Race Parts Solutions and Percy the Parts Dog. I put a little thing on Instagram that said probably the first time their parts have made laps at Darlington. I don't know if that's true or not, but being that they sell mainly to drag racers, but thought that would be pretty cool. And of course, my new Simpson window net came in while we were out of town, so it still had the old one in it. Getting ready to take the car for a ride. Try to get my wife to take pictures sideways, but in that view you get a lot of black screen. I apologize about that. But yeah, there it was. Let me see where else. I don't want to get too far ahead. Okay, we don't want to get that far. So yeah, so here's another shot. I was in the car, and this is when we got back. When we got back from being on the track, we were shuffled to different positions. So I got some more stuff to show in a little bit. I'll show you this picture. So this was on track. Unfortunately, they didn't get a start finish photo of my car, but that's all right. I didn't give them a lot of options on the track time. I'll go into that some more in a minute here. All right, so some of the older vehicles. Let's see, we've done those. Here's a 63 Impala that was an original race car. Driven by Jim Reed. set a track record. It held from the Southern 500, held for 9 or 10 years. A pretty cool old car. Not much of a fancy interior on these older cars. See, they just took the bench seat and just took the second passenger's backrest off. Still had a bench seat in there, and I believe these cables were so they could. A lot of these cars would put a trap door in the floor, and they'd pull that cable so that they could look at the right front tire, because they'd wear the right fronts out, and if it blew, then they'd, would probably crash or whatever. But if they could take a peek at it and see who was wearing it, come in for a pit stop and save their race weekend. But really cool car. So get into some more of these older cars here. Mercury was a pretty nice ride. Big block Ford, 2 4s on it. It had unique roll cages all bolted together in the center. It was pretty cool. Let's see here. Guess we'll go all the way back to the beginning and work our way back up that way. So here's a 1939 Ford that Buck Baker drove, and suppose this car had 27 consecutive wins in the NASCAR series. Get it running, get it all ready to go. A nice, clean old car. Yeah, I'm with you too. I like the original body panels than what they're doing in the later models. But I got on the track, ran that thing around. And another cool thing is the Kaiser Special. The Kaiser's family Kaisers owned that car, and these are, I believe, third generation, are still keeping the car alive for fans to see. And there's a nice start finish photo. Nice 55 Chevy. His buddies took a lot of pictures of this car, so we got quite a few of them, but didn't really get too much of the history of this car, but it is one of the original cars that has made it through all this stuff. A little bit more cage in this. So this may have been like a sportsman car that was running in the 60s or 70s, where they actually started putting more roll cage in them. I wasn't able to get any information on this one. Shot of it running. Get to the Superbird here in a minute. It's a tribute car. There's the Marauder. John says, although it's part of the reason I can't find body panels for my car. Yeah, you're right. They definitely burned up body panels fixing these old cars. We had a nice turnout of cars. It was a good mix of all different kind. Here's a Bobby Allison tribute car. And it's funny, this gentleman actually was able to meet with Bobby, and Bobby went through some of the stuff on the car and said it's probably as close to original as he possibly could have made it. This one is street legal. He can drive it on the street. Oh, I didn't switch. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Too many switches to do. So anyway, here's the Bobby Allison car. And like I said, he did meet with Bobby before he passed, and was able to get a lot of tips and what to do to make the car as original looking as possible. And Bobby said he did a great job on it. And as I was saying, the car is a street legal car. He did keep the lights in it so he could drive it on the street. And there's on the track. I have to make sure I look up before I start switching gears here. This car, there's a lot of photos on this car. Let's start off with the... So this is a 49 Olds Rocket 88, and Buck Baker also drove this car. Drove it on the Daytona Beach road course and on the Daytona track, Darlington. It was actually in the Darlington Museum. Hey Jason, what's going on, man? So this car was actually in the Darlington Museum, I believe, for like 20 years. And the family the original owners still own this car. They called it the Roaring Relic. So let me get... So here's pictures of the car at the track that's lining up, getting ready to go on track. Griffin Motors, the Griffin family are the ones that I believe still own this car. There's on track. Of course, the plaque. Really cool, old, crazy to see these old cars and still trying to keep them rolling and alive. Let's see. So did that one? I've missed this one. This was in my group. This was actually a Busch North car. Picture of it on the track, but it's another Ford Taurus. The owner was happy. He said, "At least we have a couple of Ford Tauruses at this event." Some of the history pictures of the car. Okay, so we got that one. Oh, here's the Daytona. I told you I was going to get the Daytona in here. They unfortunately didn't stay on Sunday, so we didn't get to. I didn't get a lot of pictures of it, but man, the car was beautiful. I don't know if this was a original car restored or if it was a tribute. I didn't have a plaque out for it, but really cool car. That's about all I got on that one. Oh, we didn't do the Everham car either. See, that's what happened when you take them out of sequence. So here's the number 19 Everham car, 2006. This car went to a bunch of different races and actually was sold off and went to a bunch of different teams also. Let me get back to the. There's a picture of it on the track. The VFW person that he was carrying with him. But yeah, so they've restored the car back to the Elliott Sadler era. Super nice car. Kenny's on too. With Taurus is in their cheater deck lids. You're right. You're right. Yeah, guy that owns the car there. And he has a shop, Iron Stable Garage, in Largo, where they do restorations and stuff. All right, see if I missed what other stuff I missed. We did the Hot Wheels, we did Home Depot, we did Jarrett. Junior Johnson car. Can't forget that. This one I actually got the pictures in the right order. So here's Junior Johnson, 1963, number 3. And it won a bunch of these races here. Led multiple laps, 9 poles, 12 top 5 finishes. Really, really cool car. Again, that era of NASCAR, there wasn't a whole lot to them. I mean, it was pretty much a production car. Just a regular bucket seat with a bar, so you keep the bar. You could roll into the roll cage to keep you in the seat, and a lot of electrical tape and foam around the steering wheels and stuff. It was crazy how they built these things, and probably one of the first cars to have a Cal air intake. But really cool ride. I don't believe that car went on track. We did the Marcus, we did the Mercury. Oh, Olds 88. We didn't do this one. So there's the 1953 Olds 88. Again, an original car. Has some big racing history to it. Let me get back to the... I did not have this one in order. There's the proud owner of the car there. Another one of the beach racers. And again, not a whole lot of race on the inside of that. Chris, nobody really saw the motor because basically the demonstration was a closed hood, or the displays were closed hood. A couple of the guys did have their hoods opened up because they were working on the cars and stuff. I did talk to a couple people about the LS, and they got a kick out of it. And I did show a few people, and they thought very clever how I disguised it. But yeah, otherwise not a whole lot. The fans didn't see it anyway. So we went ahead and on Sunday we were trying to keep the crowd coming around the cars and stuff. So we did this engine revving. Remember, earlier in the show I said the Home Depot guy really loves to rev his engine. So listen to this thing. Home Depot car going crazy again. Yeah, so you can hear all those real high revs, and against the chip at the beginning of the video, that's that guy, I think his name was Steve. He loved to use the throttle. Wow. Hate to be his valve springs. Okay, I went too far back and I closed my screen. Let me get this back up here. So I think we got most of the cars. Let me just double check here. Read number 7. Yeah, we got that one. Skull. Yeah, okay. So we got all that. So kind of give you guys an explanation of what we're going to watch now. I can go ahead and let me get it, bring it up. So I'll just talk over this section. So I put an in-car cam in with me, and I didn't get a chance to do anything with the radiator in this thing, so I wasn't sure what that was going to do. So I velcroed the Terminator X screen to the dash, and I set it up for gauges with only four pieces of information. So the top left corner will be water temp. The top right corner will be oil pressure. The bottom left corner will be AFR, and the lower right-hand corner will be fuel pressure. Now I'm running a returnless system, and the fuel pressure sensor is at the throttle body, and obviously the regulator is in the trunk. So we'll talk about this after we get through the video. Let me advance this a little bit because I didn't cut any of this up. But there you can see we got 161 degrees water temp, 60 pounds oil pressure, 60 pounds of fuel pressure, and the AFR is around 13s. Because I've never really had this car on track, where the only time I've run it is on track. I haven't really been able to drive it anywhere, so the tuning is not 100% yet. The tuning on this has all been done by the Holly unit. Not, I put a base tune in it that I thought would be close, but everything else has been done by the Terminator X. So he's driving through the infield, getting ready to get on track. They had to wait for the winner circle for the Xfinity race to get over and get all the crashed Xfinity cars off the track and stuff like that. They ran the blowers around, so we're kind of waiting on that. But the infield fans got to see us up close and stuff, so that was pretty cool. So now we're getting ready to pull on track. Yeah, the cam's pretty cool, and that thing got some wrap. That little tip and lean spot, that's normal on an AFR because you're in and out of the throttle, and it doesn't always translate right. But so they're just kind of getting us out there. So they put a pace truck in front of us and a pace truck behind us, and they wanted to kind of bring us up to speed. And like I said, we were supposed to keep about 5 car lengths behind each other. Unfortunately, you can see 3 cars ahead of me in the 19. I guess he didn't get the memo, so we were way back from the rest of the group, which actually caused a little bit of issue because they got us here. We're starting to go good because we're trying to catch up to those guys, and then they drug us back, bunched us up again. So of course I had to go back to second gear now. And this is where all the problems started. So now they're picking up. Of course the 19 is a little lazy on picking up. There you go. Shifter stuck in second gear. So I'm in second gear and everybody else is. And now I'm against the rev limiter, and that's why the AFRs are crazy, because the fuel is turning on and off because of the ignition turning on and off because of the rev limiter. But I'm just trying to catch back up to the group. I don't know if you can tell, but look at my head now. You can see I'm leaned over. That's to show. You can see how much banking is on the track. And when we go down the front stretch, you'll see my head go back straight again. See now? So unfortunately, this part of the fuel map I had not driven in yet. So the learning is picking it up, but it's working on it. And you see attack 6500 in the corners and 71 down the straightaways. Problem with the running against the rev limiter the whole time is you can see the water temp is starting to go sky high. At this point, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get off the track now, because I don't want to mess everybody else up for doing their laps. So we're on the back stretch now, and I know they want us to pull in the back stretch pits, but I missed the entrance. A little bit of oil smoke now from getting hot. And the number 19 car was failing, so it moved us way back the rest of the group. And I stick my hand out, tell them I'm done. Now I'm trying to just get down inside the apron there. Well, maybe I tried making one more lap around. I did. I made one more lap because they warned us if you go straight down off the apron, it'll hook the car and drive you into the outside wall. So it didn't want us to go anywhere near the apron while we were going around the track. So missed my opportunity. I had to make another lap. Motor got hot and shut off. But at least I was able to get down in the straightaway. Again, got my hand out, warning the truck behind us that I know what I'm getting off the track. You'll see he'll pass me in a second. And now I'm able to get into the apron without having any issues there. So that was unfortunate, but I was able to make laps. I loved it, and so I did some math when I got home, and so second gear on that car is a 180, and figuring out the circumference of the tire is 88 and 7/8 is the rollout of the tire. Divide that by pi, it says the tire height is 28.35 high. So at 7,100 RPMs, that put my lapping speed at 89.5 miles an hour. So pretty impressive the car goes that fast in second gear.
All good.
But what's that?
Y'all good?
Yeah, the shifter was stuck in second, so I was riding the rev limiter and then it started overheating.
Oh, shit.
That was
the
the end of
second time this shifter's done that. Brand new shifter too.
Anyhow, so that was let me go ahead and stop that. Okay. So yeah, so that was the unfortunate part, but I mean it was, you know, overall still good. And as far as I know, I haven't cut the oil filter apart yet, but I don't see any damage to the engine. We got it back to the pits. I knocked it in neutral, started up, had oil pressure. Everything was normal. A couple of the things on there, even though the learning was trying to add the fuel in, there was a second situation is on the banking, the fuel pressure was dropping. So there's a very good possibility the fuel pump that I have in the car is not big enough. So we will definitely be putting a bigger pump in there. I already had purchased one. I just didn't have time to do the baffling and everything I did to Chris's car to mine, to his fuel cell. So that'll be something that I'm going to be working on here shortly. I just want to show you guys. Let's see. Let me go back here. We're going to open the file. Yep, wrong one. All right, so here's the Holly data. Unfortunately, I didn't hit record on the run, so that really sucked. But you can see up here in the top corner, I got 356 pounds per hour of fuel in there, so it should have been more than sufficient for what I thought the engine would produce horsepower wise. But if you go to the learn table, boy, there's the learn table, and you can see up here in this section here, right below, when coming out of the corners and stuff, it was adding 40% fuel to the tune. This DXL stuff down here, I wouldn't worry about too much there. You're never going to run the engine there, but pretty interesting. Another interesting point is with the intake, the GM four barrel style intake, and the 2 inches of spacer underneath the throttle body, you can see it wasn't ever actually going to 103 kPa. It was only running average about 98 kPa. So the manifold still had a little bit of vacuum in it. So there could be some issues there that need to be addressed. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty decent deal. Like I said, I didn't feel like I hurt the engine at all. And, I'll know for a fact when I cut the oil filter apart, because as the oil got hot, it did start losing oil pressure. But it never got under, I think, 30. So, and of course, it was Gibbs break-in oil, so it was only a 1040 oil. Should have had a 2050. That was one of the things I forgot that I hadn't done since the motor was assembled. So we're going to go ahead and, probably not this week, but next week we'll go ahead and do a leak down and check the filter and just kind of go over everything. And then see about fixing the fuel tank. So the Stock Car Classics guys are going to Road Atlanta the last weekend of the month, April 26th and 27th. So I'm going to try if if the car hasn't been sold by that point, I'm going to go ahead and try to get the car ready for that event. I think the only thing I need to do is add a brake light to the back of the car, which I'll hang in the back window. And, of course, put a road course setup back in it. And then fix the shifter, but I'll probably go ahead and put the road race transmission in. So the transmission that's in the car right now is still the Sagnol with just a street Hurst shifter on it. But I did see a guy on YouTube, I forget what the site, maybe like Mr. Shifter or something like that, but he goes through and rebuilds these Hurst shifters and blueprints them, and he goes through how he blueprints them, and he has actually produced a bunch of different thickness shims so that you can set the clearances properly, because as he shows in his video, they aren't 100% as good as they used to be in the assembly anymore. So looser tolerances, and that's basically what's creating the issue with my shifter. As long as you're shifting with the clutch and in a normal rate of speed of gear change, it works fine. But when you try to get a quick shift in, that's when it's a problem. It did to me in at LS Fest in Bowling Green, and the clutch was out of adjustment at that point. So I had thought that I had just jammed it because the clutch probably wasn't fully disengaged, which would then bind the transmission. So this is the first time it's happened since I fixed the clutch clearances. And that still is a possibility that Sagnol transmission just is too loose internally. It's used. I have no idea how many miles are on it. I didn't take it apart, but it's very possible that there's too much end play in the transmission also, that when you try to shift it at a rapid pace, that it binds the synchros and then the shifter comes out of gear. But you would hope that the shifter wouldn't do that and it would stay where it is. So we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and fix it anyway, just because it's a good backup transmission for the car. And again, if the car does get bought by Jim Bente, depending on what he wants to do with the car, he may not even want the transmission. He may not even want the motor. I don't know we haven't gotten that far in our discussion, so we'll see. But I'm going to encourage him to get involved with the Stock Car Classics. I think that would be great for him and his family. I know he mentioned his son was really big into the NASCAR deal while they were car owners, so they could go out and enjoy the car rather than just have it sit in a garage and waste away again. They could go out and do these lapping events with these guys. Even when they do their racing, it's not a real race. It's more of a mock race. Like I said earlier, they basically set up an index so that when they are racing, if you go too fast, then they radio you to pull down, let all the cars go by, and then start back in the back. So as a penalty. So being that they do that, you can take your car out and you're not torturing it 100%. A lot of these guys have stock car sealed crate engines in their cars, the ones and some do have the original engines in them, but so they're not, and obviously none of them are professional racers, so there's no reason trying to push the cars to race speeds and then end up wrecking them and stuff. So, but that was the weekend. We loaded up Sunday after the Cup race started. All the fans were out of the fan zone, so we were able to go ahead and drive our cars back to our trailers and load up, and the wife and I headed home. Being we didn't get out of the track till probably 4:30, we made it back to Savannah. Found a real nice campground, spent the night there, and then in Savannah, and then made the rest of the trip home. And we got home about 6 o'clock last night. So great trip, and enjoyed it immensely. Jeff Bodine was there. I wished he would have came by and at least took a peek at the car and stuff. Like like I said, a lot of the other cars that were more of a current car, there was team members or owners or crew chiefs that did stop by and take a look at them. So Jeff's lost as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, that was basically a recap of my weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed the pictures and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Can't wait to, if we still have the car, can't wait to go to Road Atlanta, and there we'll be with the HSR group, which HSR does have a run class that is Cup cars, which Joe Nemechek normally hands everybody their tail end. He really is still driving very well. We will not be running with them. We're going to be there as a additional event for HSR fans, being that the Cup Series cars are getting such a big following. They invited us to go and do our mocked event, which will again take the HSR run group times and then figure a lap speed that's about 20% slower than them, and that will be our index for where us to stay below. And of course, we will be allowed passing, but there'll be point buys. You know, the guy you're following will have to point you by. Probably no passing in the corners. But again, we're not trying to wreck these cars. We're trying to just have fun with them and relive some of the what it was like to roll these cars around in these racetracks. So that'll be a lot of fun. For the rest of this week, tomorrow I go back up to DNR and get back on Scott's Olnick, getting the 8.1 set up in that thing. So I'll get some more video on that and show you guys on Dave's car, blocking off the DODs, getting the valley tray back in, and hopefully having good oil pressure again. And then, of course, on that motor, we will cut the oil filter apart also, just to make sure that there's no damage to any bearings at this point. But like I said, that motor's only been idled, so I doubt there'll be any issues at all. But so that's pretty much my weekend update, and I hope you guys had a great week and weekend, and we'll go ahead and do this all again next week. So at this point, I guess we'll say goodbye, and you guys have a great week, and we'll see you all later. Get this, get the music back on here in a second. There we go. All right, we'll see y'all. See ya.